Hello, people. Welcome to another edition of Chorkor Millionaire. In this series, I'm bringing you live interviews of testimonies or success stories of people who have been on this journey successfully by way of jackbarring from one country to another. We want to just get into or take a deep dive with them to learn how this happened, how they did it, what cost did it come in terms of traveling, what was the cost of doing all of this. And are there lessons they can share with us, which will be lessons for you as a newcomer or somebody looking to embark on this journey? Today, I have an interesting personality here. So let me go straight to the conversation. Welcome to my channel, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good. What is your name?
My name is Joshua Ansa.
Joshua, what country are you from?
I'm from Ghana.
Ghana in West Africa, my country. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm from the Volta region originally. What about you?
Oh, good. So I'm half Jessica and then half Mampong. So,
so we have something in common, a lot more, right?
Yes.
Nice. Good. Joshua, I'm in my mid-30s. What about you?
Well, I would say late 30s.
Late 30s. You are my big brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Joshua, today, you have a story that we want to share with people. I know it's quite a story. So quickly take us through. Which country are you connecting from right now?
I'm from Canada.
Wow, you're in Canada. I'm in Ontario. Where are you?
I'm in BC.
So you guys tend to have the best weather, and we have more snow here, all right?
No, we have the West.
You have the West. Okay, but in summertime, you guys enjoy more, right?
Yep.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so how long have you been in Canada?
I'm in my first year, so just first year this month. So
effectively, this month will make it like 1 year?
Like 1 year.
Wow, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Good. Let's talk about your journey towards coming to Canada. You're from Ghana. Did you come here? Did you leave Ghana as a student or as a professional?
Okay, so I came to Canada through the United States. So I was at the United States and then I came to Canada.
Wow. From Ghana to US, from US to Canada. Let's go back to Ghana and start from there. Take us back. Before moving to the US, what were you doing?
Okay, so I was a school teacher in Ghana. So I was like high school math teacher in Ghana. That was my job.
Nice. Were you teaching elective maths or core mathematics, as we call it?
Yeah, core math.
Core math, okay. And were you which place were you teaching at? If you don't mind me asking, if you'd like to mention the name of the school or the region, at least the region or city.
Yeah, so I was at Bekwai, which is in Ashanti region, Wesley High School.
Wesley High School. How long were you teaching there for?
I was at Wesley High for 3 years.
For 3 years. And prior to you teaching at Wesley High School in Bekwai, have you always been a teacher?
Yes, I've been a teacher from 2010 after I've graduated from training college. So, and then all my teaching journey has been in the Ashanti region. So I was at Kwamai as a trained teacher. I spent almost, I think, about 4 years over there.
In which school?
That is Kwamai Anglican.
Okay, and then from there?
Yeah, Ashanti region. And then I came to Kumasi. Kumasi, I spent a year there. So I was between two schools, Texas and then Epia cluster schools.
Okay.
So that was, I didn't spend much at Epia. So just about 2-3 months then I moved to Wesley High.
Okay. And were you also teaching mathematics in both schools?
Yes, both schools. I was teaching mathematics, but those schools were basic school. So at times you take other responsibilities, teaching other subjects as well, but the main was mathematics.
Yeah, utility teacher, they use it everywhere. They send you wherever they need it, right? Yeah. I did teaching briefly when I left secondary school in Ghana. I was teaching in Royal Home Academy in SCC Wager. In between Accra and Kaswa. And I was assigned to primary 5, which is elementary 5 or stage 5, right? Or grade 5. and I was a class teacher. I had to teach everything, including French. I taught everything from math to science to religious and all civic education. I taught all of them, including French, and it wasn't easy. So I understand what you mean there. Let's talk about your credentials. What credentials do you hold from Ghana in terms of academic training?
Okay, so before I moved from Ghana, my highest credential was Bachelor in Education, but I was taking my Master's in Education before I finally moved. So I've left with few papers to write.
Okay, all right. Bachelor's of Education, B.Ed from which school?
Valley View University.
Valley View. And what time were you there? What year group? From what time to what time?
So, between 2011 to 2014.
2011 to 2014. The decision to move to the US. What informed your decision to move to the US?
Okay, well, actually, I wasn't thinking of moving to the United States, but I had a friend way back when I was a student at the training college. That was also College of Education. They used to come there from United States to have a program there a year. So we met as friends there. So we continue having normal friendship conversation. So he one day introduced me that, well, you could come and teach here. So he sent me the link to apply. And then I started the application, and then God helping me, I went through everything successfully.
Wow. God bless that, your friend.
Yeah.
Good. And was it somebody you went to school with? Was it somebody you grew up with? Or?
Okay, so like I said, he's an American. So they have a program called iFresh. So they used to come to Ghana and then go to various teacher training colleges, and then they stay there for a year. That like they learn something from our education and everything. So through that, because he was there for a whole year and I was a student, so it's like I would say he's a tutor and then I was a student, but we had that connection.
I see. All right. Thank you. Now, he guided you through the process and you applied. What kind of visa did you apply for to come to the US?
Okay, so the visa is J1 exchange visitor.
J1 exchange visitor. And what was the duration or the validity of that visa? Was it the 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4, 5? What was it?
Okay, so the validity is for initial 3 years. And then you have the possibility to extend for another 2 years. So in total, you're going to have 5 years. So your extension will depend on whether you want to extend or your school wants to like extend it for you, or your sponsors are ready to expand. So like you have to agree to it, your school have to agree to it, and then your sponsor also have to agree to it. But I guess they do it because they need you.
Okay, so you mentioned school and you mentioned sponsor. What's the difference between the two? The school, I understand your employer, right?
Yeah.
And then the sponsor, who will be the sponsor here?
So the sponsors are also organization that has been selected by the United States Department of State to recruit teachers for the United States schools.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much. And if you don't want to work with the same employer, or if the employer says they don't want to renew for you, what happens? Do you get a chance to change to another employer for the 2 years that is left for the renewal?
Yes, you have that chance. If your employer is not ready to renew it for you, then the sponsor will help you find another school that is ready to get you in.
Okay, thank you. Now, take us through your application process. And if there were any challenges, we'd like to know. Any challenges you faced during your interview process?
Okay, so the application is like straightforward. You apply to the sponsor first. And And then the sponsor will have to assess your credentials, interview you, and make sure you fit for the position. And then the sponsors are going to advertise you to the schools. So they have a portal that they will advertise you there, that schools will come there and pick you. If a school picks you, the school will interview you. And if you're successful with the school interview, that is where the sponsor is going to do all your paperwork for you. The necessary document that they do is called the DS 2019. It's the same document that students also use to go to the United States. They'll do all those documents for you in the United States, send it to you, and then you apply for the non-immigrant visa appointment. So you go to the visa appointment and then you go through the normal visa interview. But like nothing much was asked. I guess they just asked me, where am I going to work? And then the school, the name of the school, where it is. And then, yeah, I think in your application, you put in everything. And then you have your DS 2019. So they know, like they've done the backdoor check and everything. So I did not have any serious questions to be asked. Even the bank statement they requested for, they did not ask me to show it.
Wow. So you went with your bank statement, but they didn't ask you to present it to them.
Yeah.
But at least you weren't prepared. You went there very prepared.
Yeah, because the sponsor will guide you through everything, tell you everything. Even they will have a section, like a live video with you, and pretend like they are the consular and you're applying for the visa, like to walk you through.
Okay.
So before you go to the visa office, you don't have any panic. You don't have you've gone through everything with them and they've guided you. They'll give you a contact in case anything happened at the office. They tell you, don't leave the office, call us.
Don't leave the U.S. embassy. Call us. Wow. Just in case things don't go well, you quickly call and then they can check me with the U.S. consular.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks for letting us know. So you literally came on a work visa, J1 work visa.
Yes.
For 3 years, renewable for another 2 years. What are you coming to teach?
So I'm coming to teach mathematics at the high school.
At the high school in the US, okay.
Yes.
Somebody would have asked, but you're already teaching in the Wesley High School in Bekwai. Why would you want to go to another place outside of Africa, a land where you probably have no family? Did you have any family in the US?
No.
Uncles, aunties, nobody?
Yeah, I have.
Friend.
I have. I knew some family members there, but families, they know me as a family. I know them as a family, but we're not that related that I'm going to my family place or something like that.
All right. So for somebody who may be looking at this, isn't this a lot of risk, like leaving the comfort of your home, your food, your friends, your relationships back home, everything that is you, to go to this foreign country to go and teach, with all the cultural shock that may come, accent differences in teaching pedagogy or everything. What was it a lot of risk for you to take? Or what would you say is a defining reason for you to make that switch?
Yeah, so like you said, it's a lot of risks, but in life you need to make some risks to move forward. And then, as we all know, I wouldn't say Ghana was bad for me because I was working. I had what I needed. I saw this as an opportunity that if I'm able to get to this point, I may be able to do more for myself and then for even those around me. So I said, well, it is a risk, but it's not a higher risk because even before you go, you have a secure job. It's not that you are now coming to struggle to look for a job. And so it wasn't a higher risk, but the motivation was if you get there, you could do more to help those around you and others.
Was the salary a factor as well, if you compare back home, or the conditions of service?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a very big factor, but I don't consider that because, cost of living are basically different. So the salary may be huge if you convert it to the Ghana cities, but at times we forget about the expenses and other things that we make. So it was a factor, but it wasn't a big factor. What makes it big is that at least if even you are able to save small, you can do something to help others. That makes it a very big factor.
All right. That was okay. Thank you. Now, if you can just run us through some numbers here. For somebody who is teaching, say, in a high school or maybe, so the J1 visa, what are the different levels that people can come in and teach you that? Is it only high school or you can come to the elementary level as well?
Yeah, so in the United States education system, they have what they call K-12. So the K-12 is from elementary, that is grade 1, up to high school.
Okay.
Grade 12, so grade 1 to grade 12. Okay. So the J1 is for K-12, and some pick even for the nursery. So I would say from nursery up to K-12.
Okay.
For the teaching side, the J1 is a broader visa, so they have many categories for it. But for the teaching category, some J1 even work at a hotel, some work at it's very broad. Yeah, some students can even get J1 for summer interns and all that. But for the teaching category, up to the high school.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, there, sir. Now let's talk about the numbers here. What is the average salary for somebody teaching in high school without using you as an example? What is the general average salary, depending on where you live or just national in US? And then what is also the average cost of living in a month?
It's going to base on the geographical location and then the school district. Because in the United States, every school district, they determine the salary they will give. So on average, I would say for the year, let's take it from, and then it's based on your qualification to your certification and then experience too. So let's take it like someone with I wouldn't say zero experience, because zero experience, you wouldn't even qualify for the J1. So let's say someone with 3 years experience.
Teaching experience, 3 years.
3 years teaching experience. And then first degree, let's take it from
a first degree in general background or specifically in education.
Yeah, you have to be in education. Some of the sponsors, if even you have a first degree in general and then you have teaching certificate, they will accept you. But some will want you to be in education.
Okay, so without the background academically or the certificate in teaching, they won't accept you.
Yes.
Okay, got you. And at least some work experience, at least 3 years or more.
Yeah, they take 2 years.
They take 2 years too.
Yeah, so it's from 2 years.
Okay, all right.
If you have 2 years, you qualify for the program. So just for the salary stuff, that was just using 3 years experience.
Okay. So 3 years experience, entry level salary. I will just give that range again so that.
Yeah. So I'm looking at different schools, and then we take it, let's say, from 35,000 to let's say 60,000,
between 35 to 60,000 US dollars.
Yes, depending on the school, the level you are teaching, and then the geographical area.
Okay. All right. And for somebody who is alone, what could be the average cost of living in a month? If you're not a family person with kids, just you, what could be the average monthly cost of living?
Yeah, so if you do a little calculation here, let's say housing rent cost you for the moderate or the lowest, will give you, let's say, $500. Maybe even you might not want to live at that place. $500, and then maybe food. So let's say monthly, your average, your insurance and everything, let's say $1,500 to $2,000.
Okay, so if you extrapolate that, maybe in a year as well, when you do your math, between 1,000 to 2,000, depending on how much you spend there. You could either be close to $20,000 or a little over that, or even less than $20,000 for your living expenses.
Yes.
Depending on where you live geographically.
Yeah.
Okay, of course, if you have more family, your kids with you, your cost could go up.
Exactly.
Okay, beautiful. Now, in terms of your own accommodation, orientation, accommodation, and stuff like that, did you have any peculiar problem, or it was smooth for you?
Yeah, it was smooth because what the sponsors does it, even before you come, they make you arrange for accommodation. So they are going to give you landlords and then apartments, caretakers, and then you arrange for accommodation.
Okay.
And then they also have, like, those who are in the program already, they have a platform that they add you to it. Mm-hmm. So they guide you, they advise you where to look for accommodation. And some could even accept you as a roommate for the first year so that you can settle down and then look for your own place. So accommodation wasn't a big challenge because before I landed, I had my accommodation. So they will take you to a hotel for about 3, 4, 5 days, rent you on everything, open a bank statement, bank account for you, and then show you everything that you need to know. And then they also have a car lot that will take you there if you want to buy a car from their dealership, that will give you a car that you pay monthly.
Wow.
So they will just take you to your accommodation. My landlord just met me at the hotel. They took me home, showed me my room, and then I stayed there it was an apartment, and personally, I don't like living in an apartment. So I stayed there for a few months, and then I got a house from a Nigerian man who has been there for long, having this real estate business. And then I got a house which was very affordable, I think. And then because he was a Nigerian too, like, he was cool with me and guide me in most of the things I need to do.
You're just like me. I don't like living in apartments too. I like living in house. I just feel that if something goes bad, everybody will be in trouble in the apartment. So I don't like there. Yes. All right. Let's talk about J1 restrictions, waiver, and all of that. Are there any restrictions to the J1? I imagine there will be. What are some of the common ones that you think people should know?
Okay, well, there is a restrictions on the J1. The first one is you are supposed to go back to your home country after your 5 years.
Okay.
Because it's like exchange visitor. So the intention is come and learn something and then take it to your home country to help them. Okay. So they give you 2 years. So after 2 years, then you are able to apply and come back. So that is the first restriction that is given to the J1. And then the other restriction too is you cannot work outside the teaching field.
Okay. So you can't do Uber, you cannot do Uber, you can't do DoorDash, you cannot do all those little side hustles there.
I guess for the side hustle, it's not a big deal because like that would be like a gig that you are doing.
Gig, okay.
Like taking
on another job.
Employment job, something that will go through the State Department to verify you, and for those things you don't need that much verification. So
you won't use your social security number for those kind of jobs. You'll be risking yourself.
Yes, and then your wife could do any job that you want. That is your dependent. Like I did not mention that you get the J1 and then they get J2.
Okay.
So if you have a wife, your wife is able to come with you, and then all your children under the age of, I'm not quite sure, 18 or 21, but let's take 18, but I'm not quite sure about that. They could come with you as well on a J2 visa, and then they get their work permit, and then they could do like any job that they want to do.
Well, for those who are wondering what is going on now, I am actually here vibing with one of our brothers here who happens to be a teacher from Ghana, teaching in high school and Wesley High School in Bekwai. And then, opportunity came. He decided to take on a new challenge by moving to the US on an exchange J1 visa, work visa program, to be a teacher in a high school in the US. After the J1, you have to go back home, take the experience back home. Was that an option you wanted to take? Because I see you are in Canada. Tell us about that. The point of you finishing your contract and going back home. Tell us how your experience was like.
Okay, so the 2 years you have to go, or you could waive it out, and then you could stay in the country and then get another employer to help you get what they call H1B visa in the United States. That is the work permit visa in the United States. Or you go back to your country, or you decide like where you want to go next. So I decided to move to Canada because I look at it and weighted all of them and saw that Canada is easy. If you're able to come here, your documentation will be faster and easier than being in the United States on the H1B.
Wow, I'm happy you mentioned H1B because some few weeks ago I did a video on H1B, how Canada introduced a new work permit program targeting H1B visa holders in the United States. Yeah. Guess what? They opened it on I believe on the 16th of July for people to apply. People who have H1Bs from the US to apply. Within 48 hours, they recorded 10,000 applications from the US. That is how serious people are targeting Canada from the US, all right? Yes. And my understanding is that there is a crazy backlog in terms of the number of people who are on the H1B, several thousands or probably hundreds of thousands who are on the H1B in the US and have a very difficult transition from H1B to getting your green card. Is it difficult transitioning from the H1B to a green card or permanent residence in the US? Is it difficult?